In the dream factory of Hollywood, everyone is searching for a story. Elizabeth Short arrived searching for fame. She found a nightmare. Her death remains the definitive LA cold case, a masterpiece of horror that captured the world's imagination and launched 1,000 false confessions. This is the file on the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short was 22, beautiful, and restless. She was a self-proclaimed starlet, drifting through Southern California, often spotted in black clothes, leading friends to nickname her the Black Dahlia. She lived a transient life, moving between cheap hotels and the homes of various acquaintances, always on the edge of the Hollywood dream. Her last confirmed sighting was on January 9, 1947, at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown LA. She was seen using the phone, then stepping out onto the street. After that, she stepped into the shadows. On the morning of January 15, 1947, a mother walking with her child made a discovery in a vacant lot near 39th Street and Norton Avenue in Leimert Park. She initially thought she had found a discarded store mannequin. What she found was Elizabeth Short, dead. Her body had been drained of blood, washed clean, and cut in half at the waist, a procedure so precise it suggested surgical knowledge. Her face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth toward her ears, creating a permanent, chilling smile. The scene was a theatrical presentation, posed and cleaned, indicating the killer wanted to shock, not hide. The media response was immediate and hysterical. Tabloids like the Los Angeles Herald-Express turned the victim into a character, the Black Dahlia, and the murder into entertainment. Reporters staked out the police station, inventing stories and compromising witnesses. This media interference became the single greatest obstacle to solving the case. Witnesses were corrupted, false leads were amplified, and the LAPD, overwhelmed by the attention, was pressured into making rash decisions. 2 weeks after the murder, the killer began to communicate. He mailed several letters to the Los Angeles Examiner, which was already devoting massive coverage to the case. The letters contained Elizabeth Short's Social Security card, birth certificate, and address book, along with handwritten notes claiming he would turn himself in, only to mock the police later. The final package contained a chilling note. "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Had run into bad weather, so you will have to wait for the payoff, I'm afraid." This confirmed the killer was still out there, enjoying his notoriety. The media attention had a disastrous side effect. Over 60 false confessions poured into the LAPD. Men confessed to the murder seeking fame, money, or psychological release. The police were forced to spend countless hours verifying the lies, often without the manpower or forensic technology to conduct proper investigations. The sheer volume of suspects, estimated at over 150 at one point, paralyzed the case. Decades later, the most compelling suspect emerged: Dr. George Hodel, a prominent Los Angeles physician with connections to Hollywood and a history of troubled behavior. The theory gained traction when Hodel's own son, Steve Hodel, a retired LAPD detective, launched his own investigation. He discovered that the LAPD had bugged his father's house in 1950 during an unrelated investigation. Police transcription from the wiretap captured a voice discussing the Dahlia case, stating, "Supposin' I did kill the Black Dahlia, they couldn't prove it now." While highly suggestive, Hodel disappeared shortly after, and the evidence was deemed insufficient to pursue. The killer's signature was the surgical precision, the complete bisection, and the draining of blood. This strongly suggested medical training, pointing toward a doctor, a surgeon, or a medical school dropout. Over the years, advancements in DNA technology have repeatedly been applied to the limited remaining evidence, but the degradation of the samples from 1947 has made a conclusive match impossible. The killer left no fingerprints at the scene, and the original leads were destroyed by the media circus. The murder of Elizabeth Short remains the quintessential Hollywood tragedy, a story where the media was both the catalyst for the investigation and the ultimate destroyer of justice. The Black Dahlia lives on, not as a victim, but as the ghost of the American dream gone horrifically wrong. Which piece of evidence, the surgical cut, the cryptic letters, or the wiretap, do you find the most compelling? Let us know your thoughts on this unwritten file below. If you want to dive into more cold cases and historical mysteries, subscribe to the Unwritten File.